Hi guys, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another Tech Talk video. In today's video, I'll be sharing some developer productivity tips with you. Now, the tips I'll be sharing in this video are things that I've found to be very helpful and have really improved my workflow. So if you have anything else to add on top of what I'll be mentioning today, please do leave a comment. So the number one tip on my list is investing in decent equipment. Now, this might be something that's more relevant to people who are looking to get started as developers. And the reason why I have this as a productivity tip is because when I was getting started as a developer, I was a freelance student, mainly working on websites and mobile apps for small businesses and campus societies. And one of the biggest issues I had at the time was with my laptop. I was using a compact Presario with an Intel Celeron processor and about 2 GB of RAM. So it was quite a headache when I had to run like multiple tabs on Chrome or just launching Android Studio. So yeah, I think tip number one, invest in decent equipment. Tip number two has to do with the tools you use. Now, frequently I use VS Code, Adobe XD, the Terminal, various browsers, and Notion for note taking and planning. Now, most of these apps, if not all of them, are very basic when you just download them. And for example, with VS Code, I had to install 22 extensions, 15 plugins on Adobe XD, and several other extensions on my browsers. And this customization kind of saves me time and improves my workflow. So I think if possible, whatever apps you use or whatever tools you use, be sure to check if you can customize your applications to better suit your workflow. Tip number three is all about automating routine tasks. Now, as a developer or any employee within an organization, there might be certain tasks that you have to perform on a periodic basis, maybe daily, weekly, monthly, or whenever. And you could save yourself some time if you simply automate these tasks. And if you browse through my videos, I have a few videos where I automate certain tasks using Python. And most of these videos were inspired by something I had to do on a periodic basis or that someone had to perform on a periodic basis. So if you have any suggestions on what videos or what tasks you'd like to automate, please do share in the comments below. Tip number four, you need to take breaks. Now, as developers, sometimes we just get into the zone, and while we're in the zone coding away, we stumble on an issue we just cannot resolve. You just keep pushing and pushing, trying to resolve this issue, and still no solution. What I normally do in such scenarios is that I normally take a break, maybe grab some water or take a 5-minute walk. And what usually happens during this process is that I tend to think much clearer and plan ahead or come up with various ways on how I'll resolve the issue I've been facing. And this kind of leads me into the next point, which is that you need to plan before you start coding. So what I normally do, and this is tip number 5, what I normally do before I start coding is that I usually design my components or layouts in Adobe XD before I jump into the code. And this kind of helps me think about how to write out my CSS and HTML, which makes things much better, especially for front-end development. And lastly, the final tip I have for you is that you need to set reasonable deadlines. Now, previously, when I would set deadlines, I wouldn't take into account any issues or errors that I might face that would take time to resolve, or any feedback from the team members and updates that they might have during the process. Because what normally happens when I'm working on a project is that once I'm done implementing a solution or close to completion, there might be some feedback or updates from the team. And I think these are things that should be taken into account when setting deadlines. And those are all the tips I have for you today, guys. Thanks for watching. As mentioned, if you have anything to add on this, please do leave a comment below.